put names and faces together.
Oh, hello. First and foremost, I'd like to say congratulations to all the young men that signed today and became officially a part of the Aggie family. I'm very excited about the guys we were able to pick up today, and very excited about the guys we were able to add to our group last December. Everything, I thought our staff went out and did a tremendous job of selling our message about what we're trying to do here at Texas A&M, and also trying to help sell the culture about the future of how we want to do things and where things want to go. And did a great job within the state with the coaches in the out-of-state areas, and we're able to get a lot of guys in which we targeted and got, and met a huge area of need with a lot of great players who were outstanding young men. I think the thing that's amazing about this group is not only the athleticism, but tremendous students, tremendous people, and that is a big factor in how we evaluate. And I think a lot of guys that have, what I call football intelligence, we're true football players. I think today we're in a combine world, and we get caught up in a lot of numbers, which are extremely important for athleticism. But when you turn the film on, it was very productive on the field, because at the end of the day, it's about how productive you are on the field and how you play. So thought we met a lot of area needs in that way, but a lot of high character, quality young men. Very blessed, and I think Texas A&M got a lot better today, and we're able to move forward. We still got a lot of work to do and the things we're doing, but today was a great job. And again, I say a special thanks to our staff and all the support staff. You guys don't know how many people behind the scenes were contributing and setting things up. And the player evaluation this year was such a different year. It's never been done in college football, that you have a 2-week window and a signing day to evaluate all the people and build all the relationships in which you have to have. And like I say, you have no idea the amount of time when we're out building relationships and recruiting that people watch film, evaluate film, and put us in a position with knowledge to go get the next guy or what's going on to add to this class. It's a tremendous challenge for any new coach coming in. And again, we were a week short because at Florida State we had actually played that other game, so we actually got 1 week less in that regard. So I think our staff did an unbelievable job on the guys on the road and guys off the road and contributing. And then I think the people here at Texas A&M, once you say we get them on campus here, we're going to have a heck of a shot. We really do. Because as I've said before, people say, well, yeah, because of all the facilities. No, because of the people at Texas A&M. That's the thing that's impressed me more than anything since I've been here. The genuineness of the people and the true culture of this university, and how the people around here truly love it, and they live for this university, and they contribute so much back. And I think our players felt that, to create that family atmosphere in which they're going to have to be in, and that's the way we're going to do things. We're all one big family, and going forward. So again, very proud of them, happy, very excited today, and looking forward to a new era as far as how things go, and getting started on next year's class already. So, questions?
Down front, Brent, and then we'll go to the left, Sam.
Brent Zorneman, Houston Chronicle. Would you mind taking us through the recruitment of just went blank, James, the quarterback, James Foster, in terms of his background? He seems like a pretty remarkable story, and obviously somebody you had a prior relationship
Unbelievable.
with.
I mean, when you start about the story about the wreck and the accident and, burn, I mean, he's lucky to be alive. And then to come back and not only live, but to take his athletic ability and get his body back and to go at the level in which he played at. And the other remarkable thing about that, which is amazing to me, because we talk about quarterback, can he throw it, can he run? But you know what I always ask? Can he win? Can he affect the guys on the team in a positive way? Can he bring people up? He took over a team that had no wins when he went there in high school. Built him up the second, and then went 8-4, I believe, or 9-3, something like that, and his junior year, and took him to 10-2 as a senior. And not only his physical abilities, but his ability to impress his will upon others. And I think who he is as a person, I think what he's went through, and I think people respect that, to see him come back. But we recruited him as a guy that we started recruiting. Damon did a tremendous job recruiting him. He had a great relationship with him, and we were on him at Florida State, and we were recruiting him very heavily. And when the change went over, reached back out to continue to see if that would be something he would be interested in, because we had moved dynamics as far as location. He was very interested in it, and built a great relationship. Damon did a tremendous job with his mom and his brother and his family and James himself, and we were very close too. Spent a lot of time together talking, and our goals and his goals matched up, and it's something that he wanted to bring out here to Texas A&M, and we're extremely happy that he did.
To the left, Sam.
Sam Kahn, ESPN.com. How important is it to you that you guys recruit, not just here in the state of Texas, but nationally in order to compete for a championship?
I think you have to, because years ago you were in a regional world. You're not even in a national. You're in a global world now. Guys are coming. You're getting players from out of state, different countries, different things. But always we want to recruit the state of Texas. Listen, I think that football in the state of Texas is as good as anywhere. The other states have great football, and they do. But Texas football doesn't take a backseat to anybody. There's a tremendous amount of players in this state. The coaching, the development of the players, and the commitment to them and the game of football is tremendous. So we're going to saturate this state from one end to the other. We're going to be in every nook and cranny to get every possible player we can get out of Texas that will come to Texas A&M, which I think is I think we're always in the hunt with every one of them. And you're not going to get them all. But if there's something that we don't have or we don't get, we have to go outside. And I think that's a huge way in which you have to recruit now. Whether it's one guy or two guys, it may be three guys, sometimes it may be four, or sometimes it's none. You don't know. But I think you have to reach and have a national brand. Texas A&M can have a national brand. It is a national brand. And we have all the facilities and the commitment here to develop you as a person, as a student, and as an athlete. And I think that national targeting of players, I think, is very critical and crucial to success, especially nationally.
To the right here, Gabe.
Yeah, Jimbo, Gabe Bach with Texags. How about the job Mike Elko's done in here? I know you've known him for a while. How excited are you to work with him as your DC and the job that he's done stepping right in on the recruiting trail?
Oh, it does. He does a great job. Mike's a very dynamic guy. He's a very intelligent guy. And I mean, he's driven and hardworking and has his rapport with players is very natural and very easy. Like I say, Mike's such a smart guy. He can break things down when he communicates with you to make it very simple and how he wants you and the things in which you can do. And his record speaks for itself as a defensive coordinator, what he's been able to do at the different levels and improvements he's been able to make and play at a championship level. But again, he's a complete coach. He's not just a football coach. He's not just a recruiter. He's both.
To the left, Zach, and then we'll go to the right, Ben.
Coach Zach Taylor, News Talk 1620 WTAW. Did you feel like there was a specific position of greater need, I guess you could say, and what are your feelings as far as how do you feel like you guys were able to fill that position?
I think we got most of our needs. I think one area for sure, I mean, you're always looking for guys who put their hand in the dirt on both sides of the ball. You got to win up front and be physical and dominate both lines of scrimmage. That's just the way the game is played. But I think a huge area as far as need was just finding more tight ends, because I think we'll play with them more. Now, at times we won't. We'll be in full wides at times, but we'll use tight ends, and there just wasn't as an abundance as far as a number to be able to practice and how we want to practice and do things and bring guys along. I think that was a very critical need in which we had. Again, like I said, always front guys, dynamic players. And I thought we had to have a quarterback in this class. I say you have 3 quarterbacks on scholarship, and I've been where those guys can get hurt and fall very quickly, and that's one position that no one else can play. I mean, a quarterback you have to have quarterbacks to play that position. And I thought it was very critical that we were able to get in that road, and I think extend and more backs because just for the numbers, because of running backs, you have to be able to run the football and have that many number of guys to be able to do that.
Second row on the right, Ben. Then we'll go to the back left.
Jimbo, Ben Baby from the Dallas Morning News. I know y'all didn't win every battle y'all wanted to today, but for y'all to be able to go head-to-head with schools in the ACC and top SEC schools, how important is that for y'all moving forward if y'all want to win championships?
If you want to win them, you got to go beat them. You got to beat them off. You got to beat them in recruiting. You got to beat them on the field, and that's going to be extremely challenging. Like I said, I've been in this league a long time and those top people, but we were at that top level in different places I've been when we understand how to do that. And if you want to beat them on the field, you got to beat them in the recruiting battles. You got to go head-to-head. And at Texas A&M, we were able to do that with the facilities, the commitment, the administration, and things we have here, and the great culture and tradition. We'll be able to do that, and we have to do that.
Coach, we'll go to the very back left, and then down front, Dennis.
Brent, NBC College Station. When you come into a new program and a new situation with regards to recruiting, is it harder to keep the kids that were already committed, or flip other guys that weren't previously committed?
Yes. Yes. I mean, and especially, and I keep saying this, so hard when you have a signing date. See, before when you took a job over like that, you had that little window to build that relationship, and then you had the whole month of over the holidays, you had your calls or your texts or whatever it was, and then you had your whole month to do it in January, and with a 2-week window to be able to evaluate the guys you have and build that, because some of them, like you say, okay, they have to understand they don't know you. Oh, why I'm signed with Texas A&M, but there's a new coach. Do I fit in? Building that relationship and still going out and getting guys in which you have was extremely challenging. I mean, and I say that dynamic changed everything. And I mean, it was a lot of hours and a lot of sleepless nights trying to get that done. But that's the nature of the beast. That's the rules in which we play with. And then being able to, let's say, regroup after that first signing and see the players available. And like you say, talk some guys, listen. If Texas A&M is something you're interested in or something that what we do is now, you don't have to sign that first period. You can sign the second period and give us time to build that relationship and make sure you get all the information from us that allows you to make a good decision too. So both things were very critical and very tough.
Down front here, Dennis, and then we'll go back to the back.
Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports. Jimbo, I don't think you've ever finished out of the top 10, and you may not when this is over, but I think you're ranked 4th for next season. What does that show about what it can be here?
This can be everything you want here. And again, that's the reason I came. When you saw the potential and what is here in every facet of what you have to have a championship program. I mean, you have to be all encompassing. And you have to have the administration and everybody, which we did at other places and we do here, that understand that and give you the resources to be able to go develop your players every way possible. And I think now that we're getting that message across in the state and our coaches are doing a tremendous job out there, I think the new crop of guys are seeing what we're going, the vision in which we have for Texas A&M and what we can go to. And I think it's selling very well. And we got to stay and go get this next class and hopefully be in 1, 2, 3 or top 5 class. We have to be there.
Go to the back again, John Wilson.
Coach John Wilson with KBTX TV. And Brian, can you talk about Tyree Wilson, what it was that you saw about him and what you think the ways he can impact this program?
That's one of the most interesting guys we've signed. And I say that because if you watch his film as a sophomore, as a junior, and as a senior, you saw tremendous strides and you saw a guy growing into his body and the strength and the power. And I say this, it was funny, when he came on his official visit my first weekend here, I think he weighed about 210 or 11 pounds, 6'6", and you saw on film the athleticism, the length, the ability to drop, can be a drop guy or a rush guy to play in space. And that length and size, as I say, big people do a lot more by accident than some people do on purpose. I know, and he has that ability. But the way he's growing into, he walked back in my office right after Christmas, and he walked in, and I said, "What the heck happened to you?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "He looked like all of a sudden, he's one of those guys that's maturing as he goes." He was 14 pounds heavier in 3 weeks. And it was in his chest, his arms, and lifting. He's one of those guys that's just really hitting his stride, and I think his football is so much ahead of him. He's so long, athletic, and he's now getting that strength and power. He's a very, very interesting guy that I think keeps coming. Could be one of those guys that, you talked about really highly, not that, but you talk about some other guys higher. Well, when it ends up, when he walks out of here, I think has a chance to be a really, really good player if he keeps developing. He has a unlimited potential, in my opinion.
Down front, Suzanne, then to the left, Travis.
Hey, Suzanne, Suzanne Halliburton, Austin American Statesman. Jimbo, I think a national recruiting analyst said you might have had the toughest job of any Power 5 coach, being that you had to just literally parachute down here and start recruiting. How much of overlap did you have? How many guys were you already recruiting when you got here? And how much did you have to rely on the previous staff's evaluation?
Well, you didn't on their evaluation, but they're people, and then I immediately got to film and evaluated myself. You have to go do that yourself, and I think, we get caught up in recruiting so much, but you said the key word, evaluation. That's the key to recruiting. You have to evaluate to know what you want, how you want it, and what fits in your system, and, those big lists and those national rankings are great, but that doesn't always is it. So we had to do a great job, but we had quite, James was a guy we recruited before, of course, Jayshon Corbin. There's another, we won't speak of another one that we worried that it's not in here yet, but as I look, there's not a lot. There were really a lot of new guys. Bobby Brown was a guy, which we were recruiting at Florida State. Leon we knew of down there, and that was about it. There wasn't a ton of overlap guys. So we had to do quick evaluations, find those guys, and get busy. And that was why it was so challenging to build those relationships, because you didn't have any. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have those relationships. And at recruiting and signing, it's all about relationships, which goes back to the word, you have to build that trust, and that takes time. Unfortunately, in the first group, we didn't have enough time. We were able to get enough time for that second signing, and you see we did a lot better.
To the left there, Travis, and then to the right, Gabe.
of course, National Signing Day is always a big day, lots of spectacle and everything like that with all the videos. What do you typically think of all the videos and all the creative ways that the kids usually come up with this? And do you think that the early signing period kind of at all took away from any of the spectacle of National Signing Day?
I think it was a little different dynamic. I don't think there was definitely not the dynamic that it had been because of the two signing periods. But I think what you're going to have two dynamic periods. It's going to be a little bit shorter that half and half will happen in time. But if those kids will be as creative in everything they do in school and life as they do in these videos, they'll make $7 zillion and be the most successful people in the world. Because some of those things they think you can see how intelligent they are when they want to be. And that's one thing I think social media has drawn out of them. That's for sure. So it's as you say, like I sit and look at those sometimes. I say, how in the world did you think of that? I mean, it's amazing what kids do in the time they have now and all the resources and all the computer stuff. So it's pretty amazing.
To the right, Gabe. To the left, Sam.
Yeah, Jimbo, in this league, you got to win in the trenches, defensively, offensively. But if you could speak on your defensive line in general, five-man haul, you mentioned Wilson, but Bobby Brown, Jeremiah Martin, Max Wright, and Diallo, what they mean to you.
I mean, that's where it's got to go. You got to. I mean, Diallo is a guy that I think has another unlimited potential. You're talking about a 340-pound body that can run in the 4.7s, that is powerful, can change direction, can run, and hasn't played a lot of football. And he's so productive as a player when you watch him. I think can hopefully make an immediate impact. And that's why you get a junior college guy, somebody you think can make an immediate impact. I think he can definitely do that. Bobby Brown is a guy, for a guy that size, that can play on the edge. You don't see those guys. And I've been a part of some of those guys in SEC. Well, for instance, I'll give my boy Marcus Spears a shout out. He was a 300-pound end we had at LSU that was a lot like that. And I recruited Marcus myself too. That was an interesting thing. But you don't find those guys that can play on the edge. When you talk about you want big tackles, but when you got those physical ends like that can still play the edge and run and rush the passer, but when you go into that running game and all of a sudden that 260-pound tight end now is blocking a 300-pound guy, that edge becomes a lot shorter. You squeeze the pot. You make inside guys even better because you can condense runs and how they have to double team to create blocks, make safeties better, how you got to fit it. He's a very unique talent in so many ways. The other guy, Jeremiah Martin, is another guy. You're talking about a guy 6'5", 250 pounds. And he's the other day in a basketball game, he scored 45 points, hit 6 threes, and had 3 dunks. I mean, he can play above the rim. You're talking about a guy on the edge that can play with power, with speed, with tremendous athleticism. And then, like I say, you go to Tyree Wilson, which is just the long, athletic that can create rush ends, drop ends in a whole different angle. I talked about him a minute ago. I think he has tremendous upside because size and length. Max Wright, who has that physicality, but also that athleticism, be on the edge and do the things he does. So, I mean, in that regard, I'm extremely happy because those guys that put their hand in the dirt can really set the tone when you can control the line of scrimmage with guys like that. And then on the offensive side, the offensive lineman, I mean, from Colton Blanton, who's here in school right now, 6'7", and he's doing excellent. I mean, he's our coaches, everything we saw in him, we think has a tremendous upside. 290 pounds, can run. Luke Matthews, of course, just a great player. I mean, knows how to play. Smart, just a natural football player, and as you know, his lineage and all that, but he's making his own way. Doesn't matter. This guy's a heck of a player. And then Barton Clement, powerful inside guy. Big, but so athletic and twitchy. Can explode and move people. And then Big Tank Jenkins. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's 350 pounds, 340, 50 pounds that has twitch, can bend. You don't see guys that can bend their ankles, knees, and hips at that size and create power and space. So, I mean, in that regard, very happy with the offensive defensive line haul, big time.
Go to the left,
because they have
Sam.
size, length, and girth.
And then Ben.
You mentioned how hectic it's been the last couple of months. How many days have you actually been able to spend in town since you've taken the job?
That's what somebody said. Hey, you like College Station? I said, I have no idea. No, I love it. I mean, over the break you got a little bit, but then you're out. But it is. I mean, it was just a constant run. You haven't spent much time. You can't. There was no way. Just on the weekends, and you're bouncing around. But it is a great place, that's for sure.
Second row on the right here, Ben. And then Dennis, you're good?
At what point did you know that Bobby Brown was coming to y'all, and kind of what was the build up to today regarding his recruitment?
Well, I think it was, we had a relationship with him at Florida State, but then he had committed here and then decommitted and went to Alabama, and I think it was just a matter of time. It not to the end. I mean, it really wasn't, because it took that time to get that relationship back and see where he fit back in with what we did and how we did things, and with the new defensive coaches getting in and the new scheme. And it was to the end. I mean, it really was. And, maybe the last few days, middle of the days, you started to feel a little better, you know what I'm saying, and things, but you never knew. I mean, I was a nervous wreck all the way up till today. I mean, and what went on, because you know who the people you're recruiting against, and he's one of the most wanted guys in this country. And you know, again, we're blessed to have had him.
Down front, Brent, this may wrap us up. And Coach, we did get confirmation on Strong.
Okay, good. So we had that one in there.
Brent, go
Okay,
ahead.
then I'll ask a two-parter then, a little
No,
bit.
you get, he said one.
Okay, one, okay.
No,
Okay, no, in terms of Strong, and then also, you talk about recruiting from coast to coast, but how nice is it to be positioned between, what, 3 or 4 of the nation's largest 10 cities or so as well?
I mean, that's what I say. That's why I say the location here. I mean, you know, hour 10 minutes to the edges of Houston, or an hour to the edges of Houston, to San Antonio, to Dallas, to that other town. No, Austin. No, Austin. But no, it is. The location is huge. And then the East Texas connection. So you forget about that. You talk about those, but that East Texas area. I mean, that is where, I mean, there's so many. You flip those rocks up and get through those areas, and you got tough, hard-nosed kids. And, you know, I said that before, that was kind of like when I was at the other place, like South Georgia was to us. I mean, we had so many great players out of that, and I think it's that East Texas area is hard-nosed, tough. I mean, well-coached football. I mean, not only those cities, but those areas through there are tremendous. And I think our location is tremendous. And, you know, the thing about this is, everybody says it's such a small college. College Station's a heck of a town. You're almost 200,000 people between College Station and Bryan, and what you have to bring here, but you're so close, and you can have the freedom and what this campus brings, and the beauty of it, and the location, and just the whole area, just so relaxed being here, and being so close to that is tremendous. That gives you a heck of an advantage.
Coach, great day. Thanks for your time.